Imagine you're hiking through a vibrant high-summer forest in the American Midwest. You step into a clearing that feels wrong. In the center of this clearing stands a titan, a massive, dark-bark giant with sprawling limbs. The black walnut, juglone nigra. While the rest of the forest is choked with life, the earth beneath this tree is a barren, silent circle of dust and stunted grass. There are no shrubs here, no young oaks trying to reach the light. This isn't a fluke of nature or a patch of bad soil. You are standing in the middle of a calculated, botanical genocide. Botanists have a name for this invisible warfare: allelopathy. It comes from the Greek words allelon, meaning each other, and pathos, meaning suffering. And the black walnut is the undisputed grand master of the craft. The tree's secret weapon is a specialized compound called hydrojuglone. Interestingly, in its raw state inside the tree's leaves, roots, and nut holes, it's actually non-toxic, a harmless precursor. But the black walnut is a master chemist. The moment hydrojuglone is excreted into the soil or washed off the leaves by a summer rain, it hits the air and oxidizes. It transforms into juglone. Juglone is a high-grade respiratory inhibitor. To a nearby plant, it's the equivalent of being slowly strangled. It enters the root systems of competitors and shuts down their ability to exchange gases and absorb energy. It's a chemical cloak that poisons the very earth, ensuring that no other species dares to compete for the black walnut's sunlight or water. For the backyard gardener, this tree is a nightmare. If you unknowingly plant a tomato, a potato, or a prized apple tree within the drip line of a black walnut, you're essentially handing them a death sentence. Within days, the leaves yellow, the stems lose their turgor pressure, and the plant wilts into a brown husk. The tree has literally terraformed the earth to ensure it remains the sole king of its domain. It is an evolutionary masterstroke, a tree that brings its own high-potency herbicide to a knife fight. But as we're about to see, the very toxin that creates a graveyard in the forest is the same one that acts as a life-saving purge for the human body. For thousands of years, humans have looked at this botanical poison and seen a profound cure. But the secret to this healing power isn't found in the delicious nut meat we eat. It's locked within the thick, lime-green hull that protects the fruit. If you've ever handled a fresh black walnut, you know the immediate consequence. It leaves a deep ink-black stain on your skin that resists soap and water for weeks. That stain isn't just a pigment, it's a concentrated chemical cocktail of juglone, organic iodine, and highly astringent tannins. To a microscopic parasite, this cocktail is nothing short of lethal. In the high-stakes world of traditional herbalism, black walnut is known as the nuclear option. It doesn't just make the environment uncomfortable for invaders, it strikes at their very biology. Juglone works by inhibiting the specific enzymes that parasites, including stubborn tapeworms, pinworms, and hookworms, need to metabolize oxygen. By disrupting their cellular respiration, the extract essentially suffocates the invaders inside your gut. Because human cells have different metabolic structures and protective membranes, the juglone passes through our system, performing a scorched earth purge of the parasites, while leaving our own healthy cells completely untouched. This isn't modern wellness hype or a fleeting internet trend. This is ancient, empirical science. The Cherokee and Iroquois nations documented these precise uses centuries ago, observing that the same tree that kept the forest floor clear of competitors could clear the human body of infection. They used the hulls not just for internal deworming, but to treat everything from stubborn ringworm to chronic fungal infections and even snake bites. When European settlers first arrived in the Americas, they were often devastated by New World parasites and skin ailments. They were stunned by the efficacy of these Indian cures, which outperformed the mercury-based medicines common in Europe at the time. By the mid-1900s, This knowledge gave rise to the eclectic medicine movement, a sophisticated branch of American medicine that sought to bridge the gap between indigenous botanical wisdom and formal pharmacy. These physicians standardized the black walnut tincture, and it quickly became a non-negotiable staple in every frontier doctor's leather bag. They realized, what we are only now rediscovering, that the black walnut tree's defensive chemistry was a ready-made pharmacy. It is a natural defense system that has been perfecting its anti-invader for millions of years, waiting for us to catch up to its brilliance. While the holes heal the body, the timber builds empires. In the modern era, the black walnut has become the quiet backbone of an estimated $8 billion global industry. But this raises a fascinating question. Why is a tree you might find growing in a backyard in Ohio or Indiana considered more valuable than exotic imports like African mahogany or Burmese teak? The answer lies in its reputation as the gold standard of timber. Black walnut is the only dark-colored wood native to North America that possesses what master craftsmen call the holy trinity of woodginging. First, it is incredibly hard and durable, capable of withstanding generations of use. Second, it is remarkably stable. Unlike other hardwoods that expand and contract violently with the seasons, walnut holds its shape with stubborn precision. If you look inside a Rolls-Royce, the cabin of a private Gulfstream jet, or the hand-carved stock of a $50,000 custom-made Purdy shotgun, you aren't looking at plastic, veneers, or generic lumber. You are looking at black walnut. Its unique cellular structure means it doesn't warp or shrink even under extreme changes in humidity or temperature. This stability makes it the only viable choice for high-precision craftsmanship, where a fraction of a millimeter is the difference between perfection and failure. In the ultra-competitive luxury furniture markets of China and Western Europe, veneer-grade black walnut has become the ultimate status symbol. It is the Birkin bag of the forest. We aren't just talking about lumber prices, we are talking about a speculative market. A single straight-growing 100-year-old tree, one that has been meticulously managed to be free of knots or defects, can be worth more than a mid-sized luxury SUV. In some high-profile auctions, individual standing trees have fetched between $20,000 and $40,000. When a single biological organism carries a price tag that high, the forest stops being a natural habitat and starts being a bank vault. And when the vault is left unguarded in the middle of the woods, it inevitably attracts a dangerous, highly organized class of criminals. Enter the dark world of timber poaching. This isn't petty theft or a local nuisance, it is high-stakes, organized crime. Today's poaching syndicates operate like special ops teams, utilizing sophisticated technology to bypass traditional security. They scout their targets, often prime, old-growth specimens on private lands, national forests, or even quiet suburban parks, using high-resolution drones to map the easiest extraction routes and identify trees with the straightest, most valuable trunks. In the dead of night, these teams move in with surgical precision. Using specialized silent electric chainsaws or modified muffled gas saws, they can drop a century-old walnut in under 10 minutes. In some of the most brazen cases, poachers have even used heavy-lift helicopters to snatch logs directly out of the forest canopy, leaving nothing behind but a fresh stump in a remote clearing. By the time the sun rises, that tree is already on a truck, crossing state lines toward a gray market sawmill that asks no questions. The response to this botanical heist has been a surge in FBI-grade forensics. State and federal authorities have pioneered a field, now known as tree CSI, a sophisticated application of DNA mapping. Just as a human fingerprint or a drop of blood can place a suspect at a crime scene, the unique genetic signature of a stump left in a forest can be used to prove, beyond a reasonable doubt, that a specific log sitting in a sawmill 3 states away was stolen. The black walnut is a masterpiece of natural contradiction. It is a healer that can purge a human body of toxic invaders. It is a warrior that poisons its neighbors to ensure its own survival. And it is a commodity so precious that men are willing to risk their lives and freedom to claim it. It represents the intersection of ancient history and modern luxury, a tree that was respected by the first Americans and is now fought over by global furniture moguls and federal agents. So, the next time you see those heavy green tennis balls littering the ground in October, don't just tick them aside. You aren't just looking at a nut, you're looking at the most valuable, most lethal, and most story tree in the American landscape. So hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a video from Gardening Discovery.